One day, in a small village in America, there was a young man named Jack who faced significant challenges in his life. Despite working hard and being kind-hearted and honest, he was always feeling sad. The reason was simple but painful. Jack was constantly comparing himself to those around him. Every time he saw one of his friends, who was always at the top in his studies and career, Jack felt a pang of sadness in his heart. He would think to himself, "When will I be like this person? Why can't I achieve what he has?" He would also compare himself to others, like his neighbor who owned a large company and lived a luxurious life. Jack would often think, "When will I become rich like him?" And whenever he saw someone running fast or accomplishing something, he would feel discouraged and wish he could do the same. This constant comparison consumed him so much that he began losing enthusiasm for work and study. He felt as though his dream of success was drifting too far away. One day, a wise man arrived in the village. Jack had heard of this man before. He was known for his wisdom and ability to solve big problems. Jack decided to go to him and ask for help. He said, "Oh, wise one, I work very hard, but whenever I see someone better than me, I feel sad and lose confidence in myself. How can I be successful like them?" The wise man smiled and said, "Come to the oldest tree in the village tomorrow morning. You will find the answer to your question there." The next morning, as the sun rose, Jack made his way to the old tree. The wise man was already there, waiting for him. The wise man said, "Look carefully at this forest. What do you see?" Jack looked around and said, "I see different kinds of trees. Some are very tall, some are short, some have lots of fruit while others do not." The wise man smiled and said, "Imagine if this apple tree started comparing itself to the pine tree, saying, 'I can't be like the pine tree because it's taller than me.' And what if the pine tree complained because it doesn't bear sweet fruit like the apple tree? Would that make sense?" Jack quickly replied, "No, that would be silly. Every tree has its own purpose." The wise man smiled and said, "Exactly. Life is like this forest. Every person has their own purpose and journey. The apple tree is made to bear sweet fruits, while the pine tree is built for height and strength. They both have different lives, yet both are important." The wise man then took Jack to a small pond where many fish were swimming. He pointed to a bird and said, "If this fish started complaining that it cannot fly like the bird, would that be fair?" Jack replied, "Of course not. The fish is made to swim in water and the bird is made to fly." The wise man said, "Then why do you want to be like someone else? Each of us has our own abilities. When you focus on what you can do, rather than comparing yourself to others, you will find success." Upon hearing these words, Jack felt a light in his heart. His thoughts began to change. He understood that comparing himself to others only caused pain, and that everyone had their own way to succeed. He began focusing on improving his own skills instead of focusing on what others were doing. He developed himself day by day, worked hard, and learned from his mistakes. Years passed, and with hard work and persistence, Jack became a successful entrepreneur, known in his community for his ability to challenge the odds and innovate. He became an inspiration to many people in his village, and everyone asked him about the secret to his success. He would smile and say, "Never compare yourself to anyone. If a fish tries to fly, it will always fail, but if it hones its swimming skills, it can rule the entire ocean." Comparing yourself to others is like expecting the sun and the moon to shine at the same time. Both have their own time and place. Focus on yourself, be the best in your own field. Know your strengths, and create your own path to success. This was the story that inspired many. Everyone learned that success doesn't come from comparing yourself to others, but by focusing on your own journey and working hard to achieve your personal goals.